Hi guys, welcome back to Cheney's TCG store. Today I have another market watch for you. I decided to wait towards the end of the weekend to kind of see how Power of the Elements worked itself out after we had the release day on Friday. A lot of prices have not really changed that much over the weekend. Some have gone down a little bit, but a lot of them have stayed kind of the same from Fridays as far as I've seen. But let's go ahead and get into this. Ultimate Slayer around 340. Not terrible. I do think this might come down a little bit more, but it also depends on this past weekend and how much play Ultimate Slayer saw. I do have a lot of hope for this card. Either version Secret Rare or Starlight, and the Starlight as well long term. I do think it's a great card. But again, I think we're gonna have to see how this card does. If it didn't see a lot of representation this week, and then going into next week, it could float down some more, but it's kind of like up in the air at this point. I did go ahead and pick up 2 copies of Ultimate Slayer. Went ahead and got them in the mail for the Secret Rare. I do have a box coming Thursday. For whatever reason, the seller took their sweet time shipping it, so it won't get in until Thursday. And then I'm going to open that and see if I get a third one. And if I don't, then I'll go ahead and order the third one. But high hopes for that card. Martha at 250, not too bad. I don't really foresee this going under 200 though, just because Exo Sister for one is a really good deck, but also you kind of have the waifu element to this card, and people just like Exo Sister as a archetype because of that. Destiny Hero 215, not terrible. It's kind of where I expected it to go to. I don't know if it's going to hang around this price too long though, so if you wanted one of these, I would maybe just go ahead and get one. Even though it's not going to be seeing play for the most part. 155 on Alsa. I would keep your eye on this card if it goes lower, but I wouldn't rush toward it at this point. Same with Kurakara. I do think artwork alone, I don't know that it has that much applicability. God, I can't speak. I don't know if it's going to be a card that people want to play per se. I think it sounds better than what it really is. I don't think that it's like an amazing card, but I do think the artwork is outstanding, and if it gets towards like 125, I will be purchasing it. Sprite Blue, sorry, not Sprite anymore. It's around $100. I thought this was a good deal to pick up at 50, 55. I did expect this to go like hang above $70, and again, this is going to kind of depend on how well it did this weekend. If we see Sprite, taking like 50% of the tops, like in all the tournaments that happen this weekend, then this will probably stay at the price. But again, we'll have to see. I don't think that Sprite will be tier 0 per se. I do think that it's going to be very dominant though. It's kind of close to tier 0, but not quite crossing that threshold. Primeval Planet Pearly Arno, around $80+ here. I will say this, from the openings that I've seen, all of the cards seem to be super clumped. So like I was watching, I think Simply Unlucky open case, and he got like the first 3 boxes he opened, he pulled like a play set of Primeval Planet, which is crazy. And I mean, pretty much got like the entire Tier Element core like with 3 boxes that he purchased, because they were pretty much like all the same pulls in each box. So there can be clumping. So some of you might get cases that like you get 3 or 4 of these, or maybe 3 or 4 Sprite Blues, or you just get 3 or 4 terrible Secret Rares. So just keep an eye out for that. It's going to be very interesting going forward, seeing how these cards do in price. I do think that this will come down temporarily over the next week or 2, and then go back up over time. But this card's nuts. Box is still around that $75 mark. Not too bad. Ultimate Slayer here. Let's click into this. I don't see what the actual price is going for. I was able to pick mine up for, I think they were 55. I just didn't want to, because this was like 2 or 3 days before release day. I didn't want to risk it. And I actually got mine in the mail on release day, which was nice. I didn't go to locals this week, but if I did, I probably would have played this card. $50 lowest here, kind of bottoming out towards like 55-ish. I still think if you want this card, it's worth it to go ahead and just get it at 50. I don't think waiting is a great idea. Yes, it could flop, kind of like Crossout Designator did, but it's kind of a 50-50 for that card. I do have high hopes for it. I do think that it is kind of format dependent, but I do think this would be the right format to play it. Okay, moving down, Martha is around $23, $25, something like that. You can go for these like lower sellers here and get like a decent deal, but that's up to you. I would probably trust somebody that has 100 sales and 100%, especially since they have 2 copies available. I would feel safe with that personally. There also are some cheaper cards in this set that I want you to keep your eye on that aren't getting looked at right now just because people are really focused on Sprite and Tearlament, but I will mention them when we go past them. Reinhardt around 20, kind of expected there. I think it'll float between 15 and 20. I don't know if it'll stay at 20 right now, just because I don't expect Tearlaments to be the best deck right now. But Tearlaments will be really, really good over time as we get some more support, and it's still probably a close to a tier 1 deck right now if it's not. Starter is going to be $15, $16 here. As expected, this set's going to have some really good ultra rares as far as value, like having $15 to $20 ultra rares, which is what I always said when we knew what the rarities were going to be for this set coming out. 14 on Kurokara. I would go look at other sites. I know for the longest time, I believe it was Gamer's Choice was selling these for $7.99. I wouldn't spend more than $10 on this card because, again, I don't think it's going to see play. I do want to pick these up, but I would feel more comfortable around like 7 or 8, just to have in case. But also, I just really like the artwork and would like to have it for that reason alone. Kaleidoheart, $12.69. I do think like these cards you're playing at like 1 copy. I don't think you're playing multiple. So, I mean, I don't think these were going to go up any higher than they are now. Sprite Elf at 10, that's fair. I think you're going to be playing 2 of these. The ultra rares in this set are amazing. You're going to have so many, like, you just can't go wrong with your ultras, really. Instant Contact at, $6, $7 here. It's not bad, honestly, but it's basically no different than just using Ready Fusion, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know why you would play this card over Ready Fusion. I guess the only difference is you can special summon effect monsters, but their effects are negated unless you happen to have a Neos in your graveyard or on your field, which probably, I mean, most likely you're not going to have one on your field or in your graveyard. So, I mean, I just don't think it's that great of a card. I like the artwork though, and I might pick up one just to have. It is pretty cool. I expect these to kind of hang around this price though, maybe go $1 lower. But people still are going to want them. Garura, I would keep your eye on this card at $6, but I don't think that this is really going to go up or down. I kind of think $5 to $6 is where this card needs to be. Gigantic Sprite, $6.50. I think you really only need to play 1 copy of this, which is why this is lower than your Sprite Elf. So I think $6.50 is perfectly fair for this card. Draco Utopian Aura. I did pick up a playset of these that I think they were $3.75 each. Just wanted to have. It's an interesting card. I thought it was going to be a lot better than it actually is because I was missing the whole line where it says only negate monster effects on the field. I was thinking that it was like Solemn Strike where you can negate in the hand and the graveyard, but I just heard somebody talk about it. I actually never read the card. That's why I thought that. But yeah, you can negate a monster effect on the field for free. It doesn't cost you anything. And then if you want to, you can end up special summoning a monster out of your opponent's graveyard, I think by like pitching a card with the graveyard or something like that. But I would keep your eye on this card as well. If you can get it for like, $2 to $2.50, it's nice to just have around. I don't know that you would play it though, to be honest with you. I'm not sure at this point. It would have to be a special format. Goatee at $2.25. It's not bad if you just want to have it. I mean, I don't think it's going to go much lower than that. It's just not that good of a card. I mean, same with everything else really here. Moray of Avarice. I kind of want to pick this card up just because it is pretty good. I just don't know what you would use it in right now. It would have to be probably more for the future, but I could see this being a card in the future where we get like a really good water archetype, and this be a way just to cycle through your deck. Ashura King, I actually did pick up a few of these. I really like this card, and the reason why is you can play in Phantom Knights. You do have to have 3 or more level 3 monsters, but it's basically a monster negate, which I think is pretty cool. Especially it's a really good looking secret rare as well. I would maybe suggest getting these at $1.50 or however low they are. So it's 3+ level 3 monsters. While this card has material, it can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of materials attached to it. That's cool because it does kind of have a decent attack stat. So it gains 200 attack. So you're basically at 2300 attack, and you can battle like I guess 3 times if you're putting 3 materials on it, which is not bad. Another monster effect is activated. Quick effect: you can detach 1 material from this card, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. You can only use this effect once per turn. So it is once per turn, but it is pretty good because you can negate it. It's a quick effect 1, but you can negate it from their hand, their field, their graveyard, anywhere pretty much. So I'm going to maybe try this out in Phantom Knights, see if it's any good. My only problem, I guess, with playing it in Phantom Knights is with the amount of resources that you would need to make this. You could also go into like your, what is that called? Draco Future, or you could even possibly just go into the Rebellion Xyz monster. I can't remember what it's called. Arc Rebellion or something like that. That can negate multiple monster effects. But that one does require a lot of resources and searches as well. So that one's not always the best monster to try to go into. This is probably a lot easier to get into without risking like getting negated or disrupted. But we'll have to see. But it is a good card to have for $1.50. I don't think it's really going to go down from here. And long term, I think people will want this card. It's basically low risk. It might not go up for a while, but it's low risk at $1.50. Let's see, is there anything else? Okay, I did want to talk about Scarecrow Lightheart. So this is a Link 1, and its effect is really, really broken because basically you can just search your primeval planet, which will let you search for a tier element monster or let you search for a Visa Starfrost. But the problem I have with this card is the summoning requirement. You have to either summon it by using a Scarecrow monster or a Visa Starfrost, which really isn't that viable. So that's why this card's not seeing play. I wish they would have put a tier element monster as well. Like you could do a tier element monster, Visa Starfrost, or Scarecrow, and this card would be absolutely busted. So they kind of just fell flat on their face with that. But I guess it is what it is. Maybe in the future they'll figure out a way to kind of tie in the archetypes, but really it's just one of those archetypes that they've tried to tie together, like the tier elements and Scarecrow, and it just does not really work whatsoever. I would kind of compare it to like trying to combine Drytron and your Sarptic. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like because Drytron's such a good deck, why would you drag it down with your Sarptic? Not that your Sarptics are awful, but it kind of feels like the same thing going here, where they've taken an awesome archetype, which is your tier elements, and try to drag it down with Scarecrow, which just isn't. It's just lackluster, I guess I'll put it that way. Fish monsters are cool. I mean, it's kind of cheap to get the fish monsters. I don't know what they do, though. I honestly haven't looked into them. But that's pretty much everything that I wanted to go in through this set. I will mention this as well. When I was watching the openings, I noticed a couple of people that were opening boxes definitely simply unlucky. It seemed like the secret rares were like the first 2 packs on each box, which is very interesting. So if you're like trying to do an opening or something and you don't want to open the secret rares like right off the bat, you might want to shuffle your cards up. Or if you're in a card shop and this might be a little shady, they'll probably shuffle their packs, I imagine, at this point. But if they didn't shuffle their packs, you could definitely just pick the top 2 off, and it's going to be the secret rares, which is really interesting. Which does scare me. I wouldn't order single packs, because if any vendor figures that out, which I'm sure they will if they're opening, they're definitely going to just pull the secret rares out of this set and then sell the other single packs. So definitely I would not be ordering anything not sealed at this point. Just be careful. Next is going to be Dimension Shifter. Somebody wanted to talk about this card, so I figured we'd take a look at it. It's going for $13.50 currently, going towards 14. If you have these, I would sell them, to be honest with you, because we are going to get a common reprint. I believe I think it's supposed to be in the Crystal Beast structure deck. At least it is in the OCG, and I kind of expect they'll put that in here as well. If not, I don't really know where else they would put a reprint of this card. So just keep an eye on that. I wouldn't have extra copies laying around at this point, especially if you're not playing it. It's just not worth it. I think this was also recommended by the same person. I think it was Ryan actually who wanted to look at these. So O Fish from Generation Force. Only printing of this card is from Generation Force. $2 right now for lightly played first edition. Kind of bottoming out here towards 2. I do think this was actually higher recently, towards like 3 or 4. Kind of bought out, but looks like more copies have come onto the market. So basically, what this card says is when an effect monster effect activates, shuffle one of your banished fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monsters into the deck, negate the activation, destroy that monster. So I'm guessing what people are saying is you could use this as a way to recur some of your, like, I guess your banished frog monsters in Drytron, and then also be able to negate. But I just think this is a little bit of an overhype here. I don't think this is the best way to go about it. You don't need this card to shuffle back your frog monsters and Sprite, so I wouldn't worry about it. And there's just better negate cards than this. But completely up to you. I guess the other way you could use it is if you like had drawn like your last Deep Sea Diva and you wanted to get another Deep Sea Diva back into your deck, I guess. But I don't know. It doesn't really seem that great. I would probably skip this. If you have these, honestly, I would probably sell them. I just don't think it's that great. I think there's better cards you can play. Namely Ultimate Slayer as a tech card. Not that they do anything similar, but I guess they're kind of both a form of removal in some way. That's more of a negate, though. The Ultimate Slayer is more just removal. But I do think I'm probably going to try siding out. I'm going to side deck these for one. I'm not going to main deck them just because of the deck I'm playing. And then kind of side them in, deciding, I guess, against who I'm playing. If I'm playing other Despia monsters or TLMF decks, I'm definitely going to be playing Ultimate Slayer just because it's going to be really good. But if I'm playing Drytron, I don't really need to play Ultimate Slayer just because they're not going to be playing Fusion monsters like I will be since I'm playing Despia, so it doesn't make sense to play Ultimate Slayer. In which case I would put Forbidden Droplets in or my Dark Rulers, but I guess we'll have to see. Mathematics, so Super Factorial is still up in price at like $12. It's kind of been around the same price, but the notable thing I wanted to add was that Mathematics Subtraction is back down in price. It did go up towards like $20 at the very height of the buyout, but now it's back down towards like $5.25, which is not too bad if you want to pick this deck up. I do think this deck is pretty good. And now I think the prices are a lot cheaper. You can probably build this deck for, I'd say like $50-$55, just for the Mathemech core at least, which isn't terrible, all things considered. Okay, DD Crow. So again, we talked about this last week, but the prices for this card have just gone insane. And I think that was because the Kali effect kind of mentioned, like, it was one of his videos. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was something along the lines of cards you should have picked up, but you didn't. And this was one of them. And it was going for $10 now. At the time when I mentioned it, it was like $3. And that's when I picked up a couple of play sets of this. And at this point, I've already offloaded them. I offloaded them like $8 a piece. I think I might have like 2 copies left, but I just wanted to save those for me personally. But yeah, if you have these, I would offload them because it's kind of the high point. I don't think this card really goes above $10. And if I had extra copies right now, I would definitely list them up for $10 and get rid of them. So something to keep in mind. This card will be good though. So if you want to play it, you might not want to sell it, but if you don't have any plans of playing it, or if you have extra play sets, like I did, I would go ahead and offload them. So next is Sangan, just a regular ultra rare from Legendary Duels Season 3. Right now, this is the only holo version, other than the other colors, of course, that has the updated text, which I think is pretty useful. And for punk decks that are playing this, like I am, it's really nice to have the updated text, and also nice to just have like a cheaper holo version, because before this, the cheapest holo was the Hobby League at like $28. And I think the secret rare was like 40, and like the Turbo Pack Ultra obviously being like 55, 60. And those prices have come down since this was released. But you're still not going to find anything close to, I think now maybe Hobby Leagues are like 21, 22. and secret rares are still like $35, $40. I just think it's just the ultra rares that came down towards like 40 to 45. But right now these are going for $2.15. You have a couple that are cheaper here, but more expensive shipping. And I guess what I would say to do is come in here and find, if you can find someone that has like multiple copies for under $2, or even $2.15 is fine. But I would see if you can find a stack, maybe get like 3 to 6 copies, maybe more if you want, up to you. But I did order 3 copies of this for myself, which I will be playing because I can take out my like higher rarity versions out of the deck and not risk them getting damaged, which is really nice. Even though the Turbo Pack Ultra Rare looks 100-fold better than this, it's still not a bad looking card. I guess since we kind of went through this pretty quick, so let's just jump in here and take a look and see if anything else is moving or low in price. Oh, I will say this, since I don't know if I've showed this yet, but I got the Mystical White Lightning in, Elf White, what is it called? Mystical Elf White Lightning. The card looks incredible. Unfortunately, it's dark in my room right now because it's stormy outside. And well, it's also kind of late in the evening now at this point. But I would highly advise picking these up because they're really cheap and they look great. And honestly, could see play for like Dark Magician and Blue Eyes decks down the line. So just something to keep your eye on. $75 for the sealed case, not bad. Again, I'm going to be getting my sealed case and of this and the booster box of Power the Elements on Thursday. I made the mistake of pre-ordering both of them from the same seller at the same time, and I thought about it afterwards. I'm like, oh, they're probably not going to ship it until Power the Elements is released, which ended up being true. So I've been waiting forever for these things. Magician Souls, still like $30. I mean, 23 for the blues. Honestly, I would rather just buy this than this at this point. I think the blues will look pretty good. Reds at 24. I would stay away from the reds. Wouldn't like that personally. I don't like the red ultra rares. Depends on the card, I guess, but like for this, I would rather have the blue because it just matches with the card. It's raining outside. Okay, so Legendary Duels Season 3 sealed boxes are $11. It's not too bad, but again, like if you're going to invest in this set at all, just get a case. And I would only do that if you're willing to sit on it. But just to prove that I think at this point it's bad to open, I'm probably going to end up opening that case that I bought, just so you can kind of see or how you can expect to do on a case. But I'm expecting pretty much all the money to be coming from these sealed secret rares. And then if I'm lucky, maybe pulling one like Magician Souls. But for the most part, if it's not the secret rares, like there's no other value in the set other than Magician Souls. And I guess at this point, not Liquid Soldier, but Adjusted Gold is like $5 or $6 too. Dark Magician's $8.50. I think that's pretty good. I am looking forward to hopefully getting one of these. I really want one. Same with Soul Servant, $10-$11 here. Which is nice that they have, multiple secret rares that are worth the price of a box relatively. Because I think if you got a case, each individual box is going to break down to $7.50. So like these are definitely going to pay for your box. It doesn't even really matter. But there are some bad secret rares as well that aren't going to cover your box. So just keep that in mind. Adjusted Gold, $4. I would skip this and go get the secret rare. Or the original print's fine as well, but I would not get this for $4. It just seems ridiculous. Stay away from the individual packs. Again, all the values in the secret rares. I mean, that's kind of a cheat code for the sellers to get these boxes for $5-$6 each through their discounts, and then just get the secret rare and then sell the individual packs. I mean, they're kind of guaranteed to make money as long as they're selling those individual packs. Wish's Bane at $3 to $4 here. Again, secret rares, better buy here. Harvey's Pet Dragon, $3 here. This card is pretty good. Don't know if it's going to see play except for in like Harpies or Wing Beast decks, but something to keep your eye on. I will tell you this, all the secret rare promo cards in these sets, they always blow me away in value long term. Like if you go look at, what's that? I think it's Millennium Eyes Restrict. Yeah, the secret rare, it's like $55 now, which is crazy. If you have those, sell them. It's not worth it whatsoever. White Lightning is $3. I think that's a perfectly good deal here. I would like to get a playset, so I'll probably come on and get a playset sometime. I just need 2 more. Unfortunately, mine did not come sealed. I was hoping to have them sealed specifically for this card. If it's something that I want to play, I usually like to just go ahead and take it out of the sealed box because you will keep it in better condition. I guarantee you, if you put it in a sleeve versus just putting it in the plastic wrap. If you want to put it in your binder, but if I get them in a plastic wrap sealed, I kind of have a different way of storing them. I store them in like tins, and I'll put only like sealed cards in there and kind of encapsulate the edges of the tin to make sure that there's nothing hard they can bump into, and I'm very careful about where I put it. So just be careful. Trip over them at $2. I have not ordered mine yet, I don't think, or did I? Check real quick. I think I was waiting to see if I was going to pull it from the set. Yeah, I definitely have not ordered that yet. Yeah, that's right, because I was going to wait and see if I pulled it when I opened the case up, but hopefully I don't, since it's at this price now. I would rather order it, but $2, I think it's perfectly fair. This card's really good, but it's not going to be for everyone, and I don't know that I'm actually going to end up playing this card or not, but it's decent to hold on to long term. Pretty much everything else, well, no, Elemental Sunrise, I would pick this card up for $250. I think that's pretty fair. You'll probably have to wait for a while, but I do think this could be a $5 to $8 plus card. Nothing crazy. It's not gonna be like a $40 card or anything like that, but I do think it has potential to grow from where it's at currently. But yeah, I still think Sangan's probably the biggest sleeper out of this set. But yeah, let me know what you think, if you like any cards out of this set, and what your theories are for future value. So last is going to be Predaplant Draco's Tapelia from Dual Power. I was lucky enough to pick one of these up when they were $3 a couple weeks ago. It's getting some attention again, though. It's back up towards 7, but there are tons of copies here, so I don't really expect it to kind of breach 7. But if you had a bunch of extra of these from opening Dual Power, I would maybe consider offloading some of them, but completely up to you. I'm still holding on to my copy. This card is pretty legit. You get a free negate out of it, basically. It's a good super poly target as well, even if you're not playing branded. But for branded, I think this is a must-have. I think Tier Elements will probably play this card as well, but I guess we'll have to see. I haven't really looked too much into Tier Elements, even though I do think that's a deck that I want to build long-term. I just think that deck is going to be very viable competitively for the longest amount of time. I think Sprites are going to be the best deck right now, but they'll probably get hit on the next ban list, and then they don't have too much support coming out after that to prop them back up. But again, this is all just my theories. I don't know what's going to come true or not. I'm not sure when we're going to get a ban list, but I would imagine our ban list would probably be before the end of this month, maybe towards like the 15th. But it's going to be hard to say, because it would be pretty hard for them to hit Sprite right after it got released. But they might just do some like out of archetype bans. But I don't know what they would hit, because I mean, are you really going to ban what is it, Totally Awesome from 3 to 1, or 3 to 0, because you only play one Totally Awesome anyways, so putting it to 2 doesn't help. And it took forever to get that card back from 1 to 2 to 2 to 3, so hard to say. But let me know what you guys think, what you think they're going to do on the next ban list, or when do you think it's going to come out. But thanks for watching. Oh yeah, so for the giveaway, I will announce the winner sometime this week. I'm going to be pretty busy this week, so I'm not exactly sure yet, so stay tuned. But if you didn't watch up to this point, well, if you wouldn't know if you weren't here, but I'll put it in the comment section when I'm planning on doing the giveaway announcement. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.